you're back. Okay, Matt, you're gone. Um, I'm good. I'm better now that I'm actually here, and you could hear me. I'm glad we could have this talk. I'm sure that this talk has been necessary for years. So maybe now is good to kick it off, and we could talk about some of the things that we really well, first, we've had a lot of successful lease ups, right? We've worked pretty well together, but there are a lot of sometimes issues when it comes to lease ups. And I think talking about them is probably the best way to kind of maybe work out those kinks. You know what I mean?
I agree. Yeah. I think in both of our sides, our teams, even though we're one, we always have something, to talk about and this is gonna always gonna make it better for the next one and better for the next one. So I'm glad to be here with you and go ahead. You can start.
Likewise, likewise. So we'll just start it off by probably my biggest complaint or frustration during a lease up, just so I can get maybe your perspective, your ideas with it. I have a hard time. So, as you know, like I have to track lease ups pretty closely, right? I have to have accurate information. I have to report on accurate information. And obviously, lease ups are very time sensitive. So, it's important that we track appropriately, right? And I have a really hard time at getting people, the leasing team, to let me know when there's a cancellation. Let me know when there's a unit change. Let me know when there's an AMI swap. Why? Why do I have such a hard time getting what I think is such an easy piece of information, right?
Yeah, and you know what? I see that happening a lot. I have to say that obviously there's no excuse, and obviously nobody's perfect. But I'm gonna explain to you a little bit of how a lease up goes, especially a big one, which we've had the last ones have been big and troublesome in some ways, construction ways and other ways. So I know we have priorities and we have to comply with you guys with the information you need, and there's some rules we have to follow. But also, I just want you guys to understand that once we open the doors to the public, we announce we're going to start lease up this day. We already have a calendar full of appointments for interviews. And we have people waiting online. Like there's a line outside of the office with the paperwork and all of the stuff, kits around and everything is just messy. Could be like that. We our mindsets they change as soon as we open those doors and we start talking to people. We start dealing with those situations with the people. It could be language barriers. They brought all the family to fill out two papers or to fill two people fill out the interview paper. They're missing documents. They don't know what we're doing. So we have to explain all of that. The scanner is not working. The copier broke on us. The phone is off the hook. Whoever was going to be there to interview people calls in sick or they just didn't couldn't make it. So all of that stress and in a very short time makes us just focus now on we have to get this done. We have this deadline and ownership is on us. There's a ton of money involved. Construction is not going to be done. So in a way, I don't want to say we forget about you guys or your rules and reports and all of that. It's just we put it on a second place and we want to just get it done. People, we don't want people to come back again and have them to reapply again or rebring all the same documents. So that our focus just changes. So that could be my explanation on how why this happens. And at the end of the day, we forget to tell you, you know what, this person is not going to live there now, is going to live here. Now there's another thing important that happens on the changes of swapping AMIs and units. When we assign the people, when we bring people in, we fill out the paperwork, we assign them to a certain unit. We cannot tell them which unit it is because we don't even know how it looks. Construction is being it's on at the same time. We don't show apartments. So somehow these applicants find out how the property looks. They go to construction, they go inside, it has happened. And let's say it's a tall building where there's just one hallway in and the rest is outside. People goes and brings back a doctor's note and say, you know what, Gina, I went to the construction. I don't know what unit you told me, but my doctor just told me that I need to have 7 hours of sun. And I cannot be in a unit that doesn't have sun. And I saw there's a hallway where there's no sun at all. So there we go again. All of the people running around, people doing everything they have to do, different tasks, and this people wants to change units. We do it because we have a reasonable accommodation now, and we just forget at the end of the day to let you know, oh, Brandy, they're not going to be in unit 142 now. They're going to be in unit 178. So I know it's on us. I think it's a matter of organizing better a team, and as we talk today and express what we want to express, maybe we can come up with ideas and maybe other people can get involved too to help us.
Yeah, it's just important. That's a very important factor. And I think ultimately it has to be considered a priority because we just have to be on the same page at all times. I can't say there's 100 approved applicants when essentially there's only 95 because 5 have canceled. It just, it messes up our numbers. It messes up our preparation for being there for you guys to support you guys. And so it is a kink that absolutely has to be worked out. So I know we're not going to resolve everything today, we're not going to come up with solutions today, understandable, but in the end, we try to ask very little from you because we might not know specifically what you're dealing with, but we can kind of imagine. I mean, we don't have to deal firsthand with a ton of people in front of us. So we obviously can kind of imagine. But at the end of the day, I have a job to do and I need you guys to help me help you. So,
Yep.
ultimately, we've got to figure it out.
And now that you touched that subject that you have a job to do and we do too, also obviously maybe you don't understand this part that I'm going to tell you, but when we're working at a lease up, we don't have a shift. There's no schedule. We could start at 7 a.m. and finish at 11 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays. So while we're working your 8 hours from 8 to 5, not much happens because that's the time that people are in the office doing interviews. So we basically work on files after. Let's say we're at the end, almost at the end of the lease up. It has to be closed on the 31st of January or the March or whatever month it is. And we're in a rush. We have still like 100 files to get approved. It's Thursday, Wednesday, 5 p.m., 6 p.m., and we're alone. That's how we feel. Like, who do we call? Who do we contact? I have been having to call Pi at 8 p.m., Wes at 9 p.m. Grace has to come all the way at 11 p.m., work with us and help us to do this. Weekends is the same. Zephyr, which is the company that you guys choose for auditing, our East Coast. We cannot get a hold of nobody. They charge us a lot more if they work overtime. So we feel abandoned, and I've been there. I've seen it. I felt it. So how can you help with that? What do you think about that?
Well, my first thought is, are you really being fair? Because I think that if you prepare and notify us ahead of time, we obviously would love to be there for you. We will make accommodations to work after hours. We have several auditors that we can, put on lease ups, even if it's, say, my lease up or Holly's lease up, we could interchange. Kathleen, KPW, comes in sometimes. If you need us to work a weekend, we cannot mind read. Similar to, like, I can't mind read to know what applicants have canceled. I can't read your mind to know what support you need from our department. And so it has to be, you guys have to communicate with us. Hey, this weekend we're going to have so and so working, and so who can we have in compliance on standby? It's not realistic to always have compliance just sitting there Saturday and Sunday waiting to see if you guys are going to send files. That's not practical, right? So it's about preparation and organization. We would love to be there for you. We're after the same goal. And so if if you let us know in advance, I absolutely guarantee that somebody from our team will be there to support you. I understand we do typically work Monday through Friday business hours. That's just the way that it goes. That's where the need lies. But if the need comes outside of those hours, and you guys need us Saturday, Sunday, you guys need us till 10 o'clock, I feel like we've been there if we've received notification to do so. We can't assume that you guys are going to have a team of 8 people submitting files. And as far as the East Coast thing with Zephyr, it is a frustration. It's kind of a frustration on our end as well, because they stop working, let's say 2 o'clock our time, because we're on West Coast. But we've also made modifications for that as well. If we're in the tail end of the lease up and we're asked to review files in-house, we've done that. It really is like I think a lack of communication. And so that's what needs to come into play. I think that's where we're falling short.
Yeah, I wish I can have the power to make a schedule.
You're frozen, I think.
Am I good? Do you see me? All right, I'll just go on. I think.
Is she frozen for everybody or just me? Uh-oh.
Just you.
Oh no.
All right, it's okay, Brandy. I was gonna say
Okay,
that
I'm gonna go back and come back in.
I don't have the power to make a schedule for compliance and say, hey, I need somebody to work. I'm gonna have this people's work after 5 or Saturday and Sunday, and that's why I think we have executive directors. And I would like to know what is Michelle Seid's thoughts. How about you share with us, Michelle?
Yes. Michelle, what do you have to say?
Well, I have to say what Gina said.
Oh,
there you go.
Wow. I don't know that that's supportive. That's not good enough for me.
No, see, that's not fair, because you guys know that I love you very much and we work very well together. So that's not really what I would say, but that's what I'm supposed to say per Gina. So
you're being fake.
No.
Fake. Well, I need you to talk a little bit more, Michelle, please.
Okay.
So the issue is how we don't work on weekends and how we don't work at a certain time.
So you're saying you're not a team player. That's what I'm hearing.
No, so you're
well, they don't have the authorization.
No, we actually have worked on weekends. A lot of us.
Have. Yeah.
And we have worked
it comes in with
after
like
5.
Communication. Like, it's always communication. If you guys communicate to us that the need is there, we'll make arrangements to be there one way or the other. So I think it's communication. So.
By the way, we might have a poll. We might have a poll about this, but I would say, sometimes you guys don't know, I think, if you're going to have a giant push or something going on. So yes, or when you do, as soon as you do find out about stuff like that, then yes, definitely let us know. There's times when we have expedited the process with Zephyr. And also we've had compliance staff provisionally approve things because we can't have Zephyr to prove it fast enough, or Zephyr's definitely going to at a certain point. So we have made those.
I think what we all need to understand is that a lease up is not this cookie cutter process where everything falls in line and it goes smoothly, because no lease up that I've ever been involved in has gone smoothly. So we can prep and we can do what we need to do, but at the end of the day, we all have to be flexible and we have to understand each side, right?
Right. And that we're all meeting the common goal of trying to get for the main thing. I mean, obviously it's a business. We want to make sure that the owner, investors are all happy, syndicators are all happy with what we're doing. But the main goal is to have people move in to these apartments. And that's the thing that we're going for.
Well,
so
The other
Yeah, sorry,
goal,
go ahead.
sorry, while it's in my head, is we need to realize that these are actual people and this is
Right.
their homes. And
Right.
what we're doing, and we as CONAM are providing these homes, and what a vital service. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
So when we have that, when we forget that, I think that's where some of the frustration comes in. It's not just a piece of paper. It's not a file that we didn't put together right. It's, we're actually holding up potentially somebody's home. So there needs to be some flexibility there.
Yeah.
Correct.
We got to
What's
put
next,
static
people?
when Michelle's talking. Like we don't need to have support. Put static. Can't hear you, Michelle.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, I can't hear you. I can't see you. It's really strange.
We can't see you, Brandy.
I
guess
operations wins, right?
we can probably continue, Brandy. Go ahead. Put more on me.
Can't see me for reals?
We can see you now.
Okay.
I
thank you, Carrie.
I can't see, but do you want me to leave? Should I leave?
Your input.
Should I leave?
Yeah, Michelle, thank you so much for your great support. I hope I get all the points. Team Gina. Woo.
Can you see me now?
No.
Oh, guys.
But we can hear you.
Yeah, that's not enough. I'll be back.
I can sing a song. I'm alone. Hi. We've been preparing for this, and now this happens.
Okay.
Oh,
Are we back?
You're back.
All right. Good.
I know. I was supposed
Sorry,
to share a
guys.
video.
We practiced and we did trial runs, and for some reason this is happening, but it's real, right? Yes.
I love it. Go on your next one. Punch me again. Punch me again, Brandy.
Yeah, let's go. I have another one. I spend a lot of time, and not just me, the compliance team, the lease-up specialists, we spend a lot of time putting together a tracker, a first-time tenant report. This lets us know, where we're at all times. And we send out a weekly status every week, and it seems like nobody's looking at this and nobody's using it as a tool. And I don't understand why. Why not? Why do we put all this time and effort to letting you know where we have things if you're not going to say, hey, yeah, this is accurate, or hey, these are the issues that I'm finding with our numbers versus your numbers? Where are we falling short with that?
Well, again, it seems like you don't know what happens at the lease-up office and how much we struggle with a lot of things. And
guys, we are getting ready to wrap up. Megan's in here giving me this.
Okay.
One of the things,
with that being said, can we have 3 minutes, Wes? 3 minutes.
I think you need to ask Megan, but one of the things that I think that is really critical, and one of the things that I think that might be helpful, is that I think we're talking from two different silos, and we have groups of people who have not worked on the other side of the lease up, looking at what would work best for them without necessarily understanding the realities of what's happening on the other side of it. And, I think that we need to be cognizant of the differences between doing a smaller 30 or 40 or 50 or 70 unit lease up and what it's like to do 100 or 200 or 300 or 400 unit lease up, and kind of the volume and the velocity at which we're working on both sides, and really try to have understanding of what the other side is going through and what we can do to assist the other side.
Absolutely.
So, I think, I'm getting a lot of comments, Angie saying we need to get a lease up team together. Absolutely. The challenge is, unfortunately, we don't have a lot of people who are just kind of sitting without full-time jobs. Pi says that I need a yellow flag, which I had and left sitting elsewhere. But he also says we all need to get in a room and walk through the lease up process so we can come up with better solutions. I think that yellow flag.
Well,
I think that, go ahead.
If we have we actually, in the end, we want to say that we are one Con-Am, right? We're all after the same goal. I have a lot of respect for the operations side. I assume they have a lot of respect for the compliance side. I mean, we see it. We work well together. We have a 100% success rate for sure. And I think collaboration is key. And if we have a little bit of time, we do have a short little video that we'd like to show. Okay, but if we do, we'd like to show the video.
Let's make the video available to everybody, because Wes has a lunch that he needs to go to after his talk, so after his finishing up. So let's all meet back at the main stage, everybody.
Thank you. We love you, compliance.
Thank